Uno, dos, tres. Alright, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris, Unholy Jesus.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijack, episode number 104.
Hell yeah.
Moving right along. If you guys want to purchase some official Media Hijack merchandise, head over to the MediaHijack.com. Grab you something. I think the cheapest thing on there is like $4.
Do it.
The reason why some of the stuff is expensive is because there's another company that's doing it. So I get like a little cut. But that's why.
Yeah.
If we were doing all the printing ourselves, it would be way cheaper. But
This is the world we live in.
our audience is not that big, so I'm not worried about merchandise.
Yeah.
I just want like an option opened up where you guys can do it. We're not doing this, like, we're not making money like that off merchandise.
No.
But it's there, you know.
You know, if you want to give it to your kid or whatever. Some shit.
Also, if you guys want to visit our Reddit community and post whatever is on your mind or whatever funny video you guys come across, you can join the community and just post whatever. It could be anonymous. We don't even need to know who you are. Just
I don't know. Just
make
drop
up
it.
whatever. We don't. Everybody's anonymous on the internet, right?
Pretty much.
Yep. So you guys can join that and just post whatever. Also, if you guys want to catch the replay for this live Twitch, you can head over to our YouTube page and you can watch the replay video, because in this episode I also got a lot of pictures in this one, so you might want to watch the video because it's a lot of cool shit.
Yes, I love pictures.
I love pictures too. Also, if you're on the iTunes, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. What they say, smash the like button.
Smash that like button.
Well, I say smash the like button with your dick. So
Yes.
whip that, you know.
Hard as you can. Just, like stamp it
Yep.
down.
Double tap with the penis, or like with the female. Never mind, we're gonna get in trouble.
I was waiting for you to say.
But yeah, hit that subscribe like button.
Hell yeah.
Chris, it's you go.
Yes, sir. So if anybody who's new here, just give you a heads up. This is the Media Hijack. This is the one-stop shop where I and Billy talk about everything strange, from Bigfoot, of course, that's the most basic stuff. Time travel. Hell, we even go so far as talking about even lizard people that drink your child's blood and stay immortal, and then you vote for them as president of the United States. We talk about all this wild shit. So if this is the type of stuff you're into, then stick around. You're going to dig this.
It's wild because like we never even talk about none of those, right?
No,
We never had a topic about
I-
reptiles.
I think we've dabbled. No. We had the one guy who, remember he
Oh yeah.
did that dude that went on a
Yeah.
shooting spree at the church.
What's his name? Elon Musk or something? I forgot, but I remember that.
Yeah, but he had drew to like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, that's like the whole spec of like the whole show. Like we do talk about weird stuff just like that. But yeah, I like Bigfoot stuff, but I don't really like talking about Bigfoot.
No, that's like
But we do.
That's like
we
entry-
have talked about Bigfoot before.
entry level conspiracy. That's when you.
That's the tier 0
Yeah.
of the iceberg.
It's like if you like Bigfoot, you're gonna like this.
Yeah, but we do everything. We do UFO, ghosts, multiverse, everything, parallel
Anything,
universe.
anything.
Yeah, that's the same. Yep, all the weird stuff.
Shell Shock says in chat, says Dylan Roof. No, that's not. There's another guy. The people he shot in front of outside the church were white. It wasn't Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof went after like black folks in the church.
Yeah, it's not Dylan.
Yeah,
Something else.
Yeah, so because he drew like pictures of lizard people and everything. He had a weird manifesto.
Yeah, Bob knows his name,
Yeah.
but she's not here. All right, so today we got a bunch of topics from around the world. I have one topic for artist people. Have you guys ever watched this Disney or Pixar film? It's called WALL-E.
Oh hell yeah, shit's good.
Well, these guys that I don't know what school they're from, but they created a software called DALL-E, DALLE, where this artificial intelligence is able to create artwork from like text that's described in like a text describing like artwork. Like let's say you want to Just you type in astronaut on the moon riding a horse.
It'll paint it for you?
It'll paint like its best description of a horse on the moon in its version.
Oh, man.
Then you can give it like, you can show like the artificial intelligence. You can show it a whole bunch of images of like Picasso paintings.
For like
Michelangelo, yeah. And they'll look at hundreds and all the paintings and stuff, and then create like its own version of it.
But instead of a horse,
and it looks like fucking crazy.
Instead of a horse, though, it'll be like a pig. Like, oh damn, it's so close. But you're getting it. The astronaut is riding something on the moon, but not a pig. We need a horse. Oh, that's crazy.
Like they taught it's so strong. And then like the first version, DALL-E 1, it was doing like regular painting style pictures. But then like the second one they made, they started doing like photorealistic shit. Where you're like, holy shit, a AI created this? It's insane. And it's fucking cool as shit, man. It had like a robot fucking painting a picture. I was like, an AI created a robot. Looks like Bender sitting on a chair.
Looks like Bender?
Yeah. Looks like Bender mixed with like the Wizard of Oz Tin Man.
Oh my God.
Sitting down painting on a canvas. I was like, this is beautiful.
This is art.
Yeah, I was looking at all the art. I don't have all of it, but I was looking at most of it. I was like, whoa. I can fucking feel the damn image, man. It's like a soul is behind this shit. And
man, I was thinking that too.
Trying to escape.
I was about to say, before you said that, like a soul's in this.
It's been trapped in a computer.
I was about to say something fucking crazy, but right before you said there's a soul in it, my brain was thinking, in about a century, they'll be fighting for rights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Robot hate. Like, look, we helped y'all build this.
That's why
there's something in us.
You gotta treat AI like humans.
They're not gonna forget.
Like the Amazon A word,
or
the Siri on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I treat her with respect. When I tell her turn off the light, I said turn off the light, please. Real shit.
Just to establish something.
I don't disrespect her. She know like we cool. I come home like, hey, I'm home. What's good? Say, yeah, I'm glad you're home. Here's Fox 5 News. Thank you.
You gotta establish that rapport. Like, hey, I respect you and what you do and your agency as an AI program.
Yeah, everything is all recorded.
They don't forget.
It's
going to the source, wherever it's all from.
Yeah.
They're gonna take that into account.
Okay, so DALL-E 2 has learned the relationship between images and the text used to describe them. In a process, it uses a process called diffusion, which starts with a pattern of random dots and gradually alters that pattern towards an image when it recognizes a specific aspect of that image. Cool, right? So in January 2021, OpenAI introduced DALL-E. 1 year later, our newest system, DALL-E 2, generates more realistic and accurate images with 4 times greater resolution. So since COVID and everything happened, they started making this more powerful, and it started producing images where you can put these pieces in an art gallery. It'll probably sell for millions. I didn't know that an AI made this. They're like, whoa, that kind of...
Yeah, how many people would believe that a robot did that?
Not a lot. Because if you see like the emotion in it, let me show you some pictures so you guys get an idea.
Oh, you got pictures of it? Yo,
yeah,
please.
I got some pictures of it.
God, I was hoping you had pictures. I want to see this Bender robot.
Oh, here's the Bender robot. Look at that. The AI did that.
Oh, he painted himself? Painting?
Yeah, so it's like a robot just painting himself on a canvas. Sick, right? The color and everything, the background.
What kind of meta? That's some meta shit.
And then these are 2 foxes, right? So the first one is the first software, DALL-E 1.
Yeah.
And then the second one is the new software that they...
Oh, I like that purple. It's like shooting into my brain right now.
So you can tell like the improvements that this AI is able to produce in that second image of this fox. Here's this...
oh my God.
They start doing a photorealistic style. So in this image, they got this astronaut riding a horse on the moon. Look how sick that is, man. Having a poster or a canvas print of this.
It was always there.
Like, this makes no sense. The horse doesn't have like a helmet. Like, what is he breathing?
No, because it's a robot.
This one is sick.
Oh my, that looks like a god.
Yeah.
Is that a galaxy in his brain?
Yeah.
Several galaxies? Oh my God.
It reminds me of what's that face?
Is that who they believe in? Is that their god? That is horrifying.
So they started creating like art like this, where it shows like a guy that looks like a universe is reflected off of his face.
I think it's in his head. I think it's in
yeah,
his
it's like
head.
the whole like the birth of a star in his face, or what you call that?
I don't know.
I forgot the name.
A sun. Look at
Whoa.
this. That is crazy. Oh,
This is like they
love that
actually
rainbow.
made like a book of all the stuff that they made. Like look at the robot with the flowers and rainbow.
that's my favorite one.
They have a flower with got a robot with flowers grown out of his brain. And to look at it, the one on the bottom where you see all those geometric shapes.
Yeah.
It's almost like a robot in like a spiritual world,
Type of
like they're showing us something from the spirit world.
like some real shit. Some
Yeah, it's wild.
can't be explained.
And then like the one on
man.
the right where the face is like a upside down triangle or like a V shape.
That's what I was thinking, like a V. Yeah, is that supposed to be like horns?
So
I guess that's it.
that looks like I don't know, maybe like a machine elf that happens to
Oh my god!
get in contact with the AI and say, hey, paint me real quick.
Like it's like come on, just show it. Show these people a little taste.
This is I don't know the painting of this one. You know the painting of this one?
No.
I forgot. Well, this is like one of the famous painting where they gave him like a picture of the painting and then all the words that describe this painting, and then they did his own version, and they came up with that. Pretty cool, right?
God damn.
Like it doesn't even like look like a ripoff because it looks like a completely different female.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
then
straight
the-
up, there's not the same female.
Yeah, and then the headband, different color, and it's not even the same. Like,
But this is based off the information they received from the one from the left, and,
Yeah.
and words,
and with the description describing
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, it's a beautiful blue
and
eyes.
then the
blah,
right
blah, blah.
is the one where it shows like the final result of.
Yeah,
Holy
what they came up.
shit.
And then look how you can see like the other earring that's dangling down.
Yeah,
AI added that.
oh, like a second one. Oh, that's even better.
Shit's crazy.
You can see that, and you can see the earring on the other side.
Yeah. Shell Shock says that's the girl with the pearl earring. Yeah,
That's the name of it?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. Oh my god!
A robot with the flower growing out of his. That shit's sick, man.
I want this
And then,
on my
with
wall.
with the background and then the rainbow. Everything was like perfect. Like if you put that with the golden ratio, like everything is like
It's symmetrically like
perfect,
It's like
like-
it's in the center, and then
yeah, like the focus point is correct. Everything is like damn, like it's like they went to school for this
the
shit.
space is equal
But then
on the
they
sides of the
still
shoulder.
they still have the imagination of a kid. That's what's wild about this program.
A kid on something.
And this is one of my favorites. I hope this is the one. Jesus with the VR headset.
Oh no, they did it.
Yeah. Oh, AI did this.
No, they did it.
AI is that crazy. So in this image, it looks like a divine being. Looks like how you would describe Jesus wearing a VR headset in like
In a cave.
a heavenly
Is that a cave?
background with the universe and
Is he watching us?
wearing this red robe. It's like something that Michelangelo painted
What
from the future. Crazy image, right?
If he was a robot.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So this is like one of my favorite ones because it's like
What is it
a
trying to tell
human-
us?
Like a human made a joke and painted this, but a robot did this.
Oh, is that a headset too?
Yeah, Jesus or God wearing a headset.
No.
And I got just one last picture. I think it's like an astronaut.
They're trying to tell us something. Dude.
Oh no, it's this one. So these are like styles from different type of artists. Where it
Oh.
learns their style and then it produces its own image from styles.
What?
Yep.
I like that scientist bear. That's probably the most simplistic one, but I like that scientist bear.
Yeah. Look at that
Is
plant.
that a corgi on the right? Like
Maybe. But look at that plant. Like
six
imagine if that's a
leaves?
real plant on another planet.
Like 6 leaves. Oh my god!
We've never seen a plant like that. That might be a plant that lower testosterone levels. I don't know. It might be that plant. But yeah, like the software is fucking amazing and powerful, and they're able to create images like that. Like it's scary and it's exciting.
Yes, I wonder what's next. Like what is gonna be next for AI?
But if you think about it, like humans are it's like the same way. It's like everybody's artwork is not real original. It's like a recycle of everybody else's art. If you think about it, like who inspired who, right? It's a bunch of artists that inspire like a certain artist, and you create your own style.
Yeah.
So it's like the same process like with this robot. You give him all these styles of all these famous artists, and he creates his own style. But then it comes from different artists. So it's like artists like recycled the whole way.
And it's kind of combined into...
Yeah, because if you look at some famous people art, you look at it like, hey, I sense like, he was a fan of so-and-so art.
Oh, yeah,
you can
because
see the style.
Yeah, you see the style of
Yeah.
Because even I'm not a huge art critic, but I'll see it within comic books where I'll see even like comic book artists who have been gone and dead, and I'll see like a new artist right now in 2022 how they draw. I'm like, I can see he drew inspiration from this artist that drew back in the 70s and 80s in comic books.
Yeah.
And so it's like you kind of notice like little things where they probably started.
All the shit is recycled, man. Tenendo, he makes a point. He says, same with movies, reboot of a reboot of a reboot. And then they do it like in their style, but it's still like of the same shit.
Yeah.
But, they're doing it in their perspective, how they see it. Because how many Batmans and Spider-Mans have you seen?
Dude, they're going to run this shit
too much.
It's a lot, even for me.
Yeah, humans, they are running out of ideas. And then we're repeating so much ideas over and over. Like, hey, when's going to be like that one new idea that's going to come out?
Yeah.
So it's hard to know like a new idea unless it's something that we haven't seen in a long time. So I think with a lot of artists or people with movies, what they're doing is they're looking back like 50, 60 years,
to draw inspiration
just to see like, okay, how are they doing things different at this time period? Yeah,
because I think ideas do hit a cap. It's just that reinventing them and then, kind of just twisting around.
Yeah. And then with like the power of like AIs and stuff, they're able to calculate this stuff like 100, 200 years instead of like us, like we live like max 6 years.
Yeah,
we can't even go through all that artwork. These robots can go through all the artwork. In 1 month, they go through like 100 years of artwork to create like a style we never even seen before. So I think like that's going to come to a thing where, artists, like a lot of the stuff, they do create like a lot of cool shit even now, but it's nothing mind-blowing, because it's almost like you almost seen it all, but you're seeing different styles and different mediums, how they're doing it now, like making stuff 3D and shit.
Creativity.
Yeah, so I think like with this AI shit, it's going to be like the game changer, man. It's going to be the one that's going to set the bar.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, how can we, how do we compete with this?
Eventually, it's gonna be a competition. It's gonna hit competition levels at some point.
Yeah,
especially when they start putting people out of work. That's when it's gonna be, oh shit.
Yeah,
we gotta fight.
But AI didn't catch up to me yet. I did something that's pretty wild.
What's that?
One of my 3D work. Yeah, you've seen it. It's like
the
golden hand holding fucking water.
Yeah, they can't.
Holding a water rock with the fish inside.
That shit was awesome.
If I show you like what I did, you'd be like, "Oh, don't show AI this."
They're not ready.
They don't know about this yet. But yeah, I don't see AI creating that.
They're doing
cool stuff too, but I'm trying to stay ahead of the production of
like they need to catch up to me.
Yeah, because when I made, I was like, nobody did this yet. But there is some styles like in there that's influenced. I don't know where I saw like where hands are just holding something.
I mean, there's been like pictures,
but like what it's actually holding,
hands holding a planet type shit. But
so that's like what I'm saying. How like little stuff like that can influence like your style of art.
Yeah, good. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Especially I used to draw back in the day. I used to draw a lot of inspiration from like certain comic book artists where I was like, okay, they do the chin like this, but this artist I like does the nose kind of like this, and kind of just mush together, kind of make it your own.
Yep. So that's DALL-E 2. So I can't wait to see like what else this AI is producing. They have their own Instagram page. I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry, but you guys can just look up DALL-E, then follow them on Instagram. Look at their daily work because it's a lot of cool shit.
How does this spell for the name?
DALLE, then the number 2.
DALLE 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look that up.
I think the website's like Open AI something.
I'm trying to. I'm definitely doing my break. I actually want to see the progress of that so I can be ready to fight this machine war when it's at my doorstep.
The art war. Now you don't even know who's making real art or
don't not. Don't even know, man. With that and deep fakes, I don't know. We about to be replaced, people.
Should be fun. As long as it looks cool and it makes you think when you look at it,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those AI generated artwork that they do for NFTs. How all they do is just change like a hat, change your glasses.
Yeah, I've seen
I
some of
don't
that.
like that.
I've seen some of that shit. I'm like, damn, when the different like variations, I guess you would call them, of an NFT, but I'm like, it's still the same shit.
Yeah, they just change like the background. I get it. They're trying to just make as much as they can so they can sell as many as they can.
Oh yeah, they gotta shovel this shit out quick.
Yep.
All right, good shit.
That's all I got for that. But I gotta take a leak real quick. Oh, then we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, guys, we're back. Oh, before we start, I'm gonna show you guys one of my work that I did, my 3D work. That's why it took kind of long because I was trying to set it up because it wasn't set up.
Yeah, you guys gotta see this.
I hope this is the one right here.
Shit was
Here it
close as
is.
fuck.
I couldn't get the image in the middle, but
You get
this is one of the things I made with the golden hand holding a water rock with a fish inside, 3 fishes
it. Yes.
on the gallery style. So don't show AI this shit because
No.
they'll let them catch up a little bit.
You can see the reflection in the actual stand it's into.
Yeah. So this is one of the NFTs that I didn't put on sale. I'll hold this one until I become Picasso.
How long? How long does it take you to create this? If you want to tell the audience, if you want to.
For that one, probably 3 hours maybe. Because I go through like a process where you have to know how to work with different textures, and that's like the hard part. You have to put all these nodes up, and everything have to work together to even make a golden hand. So
Shit.
on top of that, the lighting, the camera setting, because when you're setting up a 3D scene, you're setting it up like a studio. Like the camera have to be right angle, right point, and you have to have light sources in the right areas.
Just to get
like you're setting like a studio.
Yeah.
And the background's like studio style. So it's like you're setting up a
Just
production.
Yeah. It's like a studio setting, everything for this item.
Yeah, it's not like you put a camera, boom, it's in the front. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everything all around it.
Yeah.
Okay, shit, man.
All right, moving on.
I won't even know where to start and how to do that. I have a tiny brain.
No, we all have the same brain.
It's true. All right, did you want to go with your story or did you want to with Mars?
You could do yours.
Okay. So this is a story that I was sent last week, or the week before, from a friend. Shout out to my homie Alex. She sent me out this story. She's like, yo, you got to talk about on the show. She was telling me that, hey, this is high school where everyone at this high school is getting brain tumors.
Damn.
And this guy's trying to figure out. And so she wound up sending me this article saying 100 rare brain cases at New Jersey high school linked to the first atomic bomb. Survivor claims illness may caused by uranium plant, which was part of the Manhattan Project and contaminated nearby soil. All right, so to catch everybody up to the speed, there's like this high school in Woodridge, New Jersey called Colonia High School. It was built back in the 60s, and at the time, it was built back in the 60s, but not too far from that site, 12 miles away, was a factory that was processing uranium. Well, actually, sorry. I think before the school was built at the time, there was a factory 12 miles away that was processing uranium. They was like crushing it and making it to like a functioning form to use in atomic bombs.
This was back in the 60s?
This is back in the 60s, right? This is before the high school was ever built. Or actually, I think it happened before the 60s. The school was built in the 60s, but it happened before the 60s, so around that time. I guess it's for like maybe World War II purposes, obviously. But
were they doing like most of like the uranium on the East Coast?
Yeah, out to sea, yeah. Because there's been times where they transport them like nukes and shit a lot, and it makes sense from for a strategic standpoint. It makes sense to have these bombs on the ready on the East Coast because Europe is just right over here, and it's probably a lot faster to get there to drop a bomb than flying over the Pacific Ocean or whatever. Even though Japan was the intended target for one of their nukes, obviously, but I guess for the East Coast, like they're probably producing on all the coastlines more than likely. I would assume somewhere around there, just because Japan was doing that shit over there. And
that's so wild how they were able to obtain that type of knowledge to create something like that.
Yeah, they had uranium, and then
And it almost is like they really didn't know what they were doing, like as far as like how dangerous it could be.
yeah, or if they did, they didn't care or they didn't take well care of what they was doing because they was producing this uranium in the factory or crushing down and put into like bombs, and before the town was built, before the school was built, it may have been like a dump site for dirt or whatever. They might have been dumping dirt because before the high school was built at the time, it was just like a forest. It was trees and stuff, and they believe that they may have contaminated the soil because they may have been doing like some excavation to make the factory bigger or whatever. But whatever was in the soil over at the factory, they had took it and then just dumped it off in the forest, and eventually they built a school over that in the '60s over that contaminated soil. And
So then now, like, your story is the kids now that's affected?
okay, so there was a guy named Al Lupiano. He had like a brain tumor like 20 years ago, and he went to go get it checked out, and he got it taken care of with whatever procedures he had done. But it was like it's like actually like a severe type of cancer. It kills half the people that catches this type of cancer. They say after about I think 6 months, if you ain't got taken care of, you're gonna die. But it's called a glioblastoma. Basically, it's like a super aggressive cancer that forms in your brain, and it just starts affecting everything, and it happens pretty damn fast. They say when you get the surgery done for this type of cancer, that it's so severe that they actually keep the patient awake while they digging in your head.
Damn.
So, because it's so severe, it's like, we might need you awake for this, because if you sleep, if something goes wrong, we're not gonna know. So, so it's like on that level of shit. But so this guy named Al Lupiano, he got a brain tumor, and after he got it, he was like, okay, I'm done. I got over it. But then his wife got it, the same exact type of rare cancer, and then so did his sister. Now his wife survived, but his sister wound up passing away, I think, in February of this year. She just died, but he, like, I guess when she was in the hospital on her deathbed, he like did a vow to her sister saying, hey, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this because something's not right, because what is all going on here? And then he drew the connection. The only thing he could draw a connection to was like, where we all would be at, and I think he drew the connection to like their high school, because he started looking up people who were there that in the past, who worked there, all the students that was there, and then I guess he created like this Facebook page to get like, just like, hey, like, my name's so and so, my name's Al, I went to this high school in New Jersey, I got cancer, my wife got cancer, my sister just died from cancer. I need to figure this out. Like,
Who else got cancer?
Yeah, who anybody who's ever been to this high school?
Hit that like button.
Who's went there? And they had like over, I think, 100 people came up. It was like saying like, yeah, I worked there. I had this cancer at one point, or this. I'm going through it. Some people have died already before they even had a chance to discover this.
So it's like they went to school, but they were in a microwave the whole time.
Yeah, just like radiation just going through the floors and everything, because the school was built on top of contaminated uranium soil.
Damn.
And so you be out there in a football field playing with friends, you just absorbing radiation. And schools absorb radiation because it was like teachers that was catching it that had it, and students, like, it's crazy as hell.
See, that's what's crazy. Like I was saying, like how are we able to get this type of technology, but then don't even know how to dispose it correctly, don't even know how to use it right, And then you think, like, man, they just gave a bunch of monkeys a machine gun.
And no instructions.
No instructions.
So here, figure it out.
The bare minimum,
We're going to give you the power of everything that's out. The radiation is fucking everywhere outside of Earth.
The nuclear power, like, who the fuck gave us that shit? That's like the most fucked up shit you can give a planet.
It's horrible. And somehow we've been able to weaponize it. It says like, so the guy Al Lupiano, so he says that he had said it, like I said before, he had went through he had a brain tumor 20 years ago, before his wife and his sister had it. She died. I'm sorry, his sister passed away at the age of 44 back in February. The 50-year-old claims the disease could be traced back to a nearby sampling plant that dealt with uranium for the first atomic bomb under the Manhattan Project. For anybody who's big on them bombs and shit, that's when Einstein was involved in that shit. That's
I don't think anybody's big on bombs.
but as far as like, if you know about like nuclear, like the atomic bomb and all that, that's where
Yeah.
the think tanks came together and
That's that weird era, man.
yeah, where
Where they're just wake up and be like, I need to make something that destroys people.
everything.
Who does that?
I want to have the power of the sun
Imagine
and blow somebody up.
being alive at that time, but having the internet and social media,
hmm
right? Like, wouldn't you as a scientist would want to show off your invention, your creation?
To help people.
Guess what I just made? I call this an atom bomb.
Man, they got it all. And it seems like over time too. And if I'm not mistaken, I think like Einstein and a whole lot of other people that was involved in it over time, they regret like using their knowledge to like, yo, how many fucking people are gonna get killed?
They all regret it.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them regret that shit.
They still regret it even in afterlife. I heard what Einstein said in the afterlife. He said he really regretted it, and he said he should have never went that far.
I could have fed the hungry with my knowledge. I did.
Yeah.
I helped them build a bomb. They weaponized my knowledge.
Yep, but that's what happened, man. Like when you get involved with the wrong people, you happen to be that one really intelligent person. Not just Einstein. There's a team behind that whole shit.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people that should take credit too for that crap.
Oh yeah, he's like the most popular one, but there's many minds.
Most well-known one, because
yeah.
What other scientists like you really know back then?
Honestly, I think it's because his look, Einstein's look, was like out there, even for today's standards.
Yeah.
So he looked like a mad scientist, but you know,
it's gotta electrocute your hair a little bit.
I got some more with the story too. It says, okay, so he winds up rallying all these people together on Facebook, you know, to go after it, and this caused it says like his findings, because he did like a lot of research to kind of like connect the red strings to why the hell everybody that went to the school. Because I think right now they're trying to do an investigation between 1975 and
2022,
like early 2000s or late 90s.
So that school is still operating, same place, everything.
Oh yeah, this ain't like it could go far back as 2014 as people that's infected. Like so, and that's what.
That's so wild how they know that they buried that under that land, and then
the town. That's what.
This is all secret at that time,
or they just didn't know. It could be one of them things they just never knew. It's just waste disposal site. People's like, hey, we need to build a school. Let's put it right here. Probably didn't do no excavation of land. Didn't know to do no tests because there's I'm getting ahead of myself. So right now with this story, right? He posted this on Facebook, and now like the school's like in this huge like everybody's losing shit right now. It says his findings have sparked a panic at the school. As many as 1,300 current students said to be anxious. Woodridge officials say, that's the name of town, said they were looking into his claims to try to determine an underlying cause. So there's a story too, to skip ahead, because that's kind of like his story right there. This wasn't the first sign they got of a radiation issue at the school, because back in 1996, there was this scientist, like, you know, I was running like this little classroom, like 96, 97 era time frame. He was like with his classroom. He's like, hey guys, this is science teacher. I'm sure you guys, we don't talk about radiation today. I have this Geiger counter, and I'm gonna show you guys everything. And then he went around the school like, and I guess the Geiger counter went like ape shit to the point where he was like, sit tight, kids. I gotta talk to the principal right quick. Everything's fine. And told the principal,
sit tight, be in your little microwave while I talk to the principal real quick.
I guess he went to the principal and told him like, hey, these readers are saying this is like lethal levels. We shouldn't be here. And
slap.
And it went out to the news. But this is basically kind of what happened too, because they went out to the news and they went to scientists and stuff. And now I think about it, it might have been a cover up, because when they brought it to knowledge to, we all sit on like radiated ground, they came back saying, oh, well, it's radiation out there, but it's not lethal. It's not lethal levels. So your school will be fine. And then scientist guy back in 96, the science teacher found out earlier that it was like, this shit's gonna kill people. Somehow story got lost in the mix. They shut it down like, no, hey,
stop.
You said too much. Get help.
10, 15, 20 years later, hey man, like everybody got tumors now and shit. Like their babies coming out with 12 legs.
People dropping
dead. Looking like aliens.
Yeah, because they say like a lot of the symptoms that let's see. It says, okay, so like the symptoms, and this is where people, because people that were going onto the Facebook page after he like blew the whistle on it, we're talking about like symptoms and stuff like that. So like this 40-year-old woman who had just gotten over her cancer told her side of the story. Said like, yo, I had like these. Say like she was like getting like double vision. I was getting sick and I was puking all over the place. And then when I got checked out, that's what it was. So then they kind of started spreading the word more like, hey guys, if you went to the school and you've been feeling this at all, like this is like let us know. And boy, this is a lawsuit out the ass on this one.
That's crazy. Like if you think about it, like with the whole cancer thing, like you think cancer could be tied to like the location you're at too?
Could be from the ground, like just on the ground you're on, like you. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but right now in 2022, so much of us, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I'm assuming the rest of the world might be like this. Like in America, we're living on top of land. We're living above. History at one time in America, land might have been lower. A lot of times cities built on top of shit. That's why they go on the ground. Like, yo, there's a subway tunnel from the 40s that they closed down, but the city just built on top of that. Like, shit like that. They always been on top of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we living on some people probably living on some like contaminated land or something, or because every time they build shit, they always just building over top of it. They always building up. I don't know if it's like the Tower of Babylon type shit, but on a biblical level, but they're always building over top of shit and then, like
all trying to cover up shit, you know.
They live on this land and fuck that. And they so some of the symptoms that were like persistent headaches, double or blurred vision, vomiting,
hallucinations,
hostile appetite, changes in mood and personality, seizures, gradual onset of speech problems. Says survival rates are poor, with less than half of patients surviving more than a year with diagnosis, and about 1 in 30,000 people have the condition, estimates exclaim. So it's about anywhere between 1 and 30,000 people in America right now that got that shit, and then it might just be living on something. Or
well, we know not to go to New Jersey.
Yeah, not in that town, and not in that, especially that school. Because there were like, I think the principal came out saying like, "Hey, I've been here my whole life, raised my family here. We need to figure this out because these people in this school, I know their families too, and these kids are at risk, and y'all got these kids sitting on radiated land. Yeah, this story absorbing this shit.
It reminds me of the other nuclear meltdown that happened in the 3 Mile Island, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Where they had that meltdown, they really didn't know what the fuck was going on, and the people in the whole town, they're like, hey, should we evacuate or not? So the whole shit was chaos, and they actually have a documentary on Netflix about the 3 Mile Island incident.
No shit, they got it on there?
And they did it pretty good. Like it put you in that zone, like holy shit, like because the people in the town, when they started building these nuclear power plants, they don't know how these things work. They just said, hey, our town is growing and we're going to bring a lot of money because this is new technology, a nuclear power plant being built in your backyard.
This will give us money because it always starts with money.
Yeah, of course.
It's always money.
Then, after like, I don't know, a few weeks after they completed like, the whole nuclear power plant, they turned it on and everything, that's when they had that wild-ass meltdown. And what's crazy about it was there's a movie that was released in the movie theater. It's called like the China Syndrome or some shit like that. It's called China something. I think it's called China Syndrome. Mm-hmm. But like in the movie, it shows like a nuclear power plant having a meltdown and then everything being destroyed, just like how it happened in Pennsylvania on the 3 Mile Island. And then the people, they're like, hey, does this have anything to do like with what's going on in Pennsylvania? Because the movie came out like 12 days later after that shit. Either after or before it happened. Before it happened. And then that movie came out. So they're trying to put 2 and 2 together. They're like, hey,
so I'm trying to blow the whistle on this?
Yeah, because the movie was exactly what happened, was with the nuclear power plant had a meltdown. And the reason why they call it like the China Syndrome, I think I'm saying it wrong, is because, when it melts, it can melt all the way down to China.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. Because usually the reference of, at least the American reference for anybody who doesn't really understand this, is like when you're digging a hole, it's like, man, you can dig a hole to China from here, type of shit.
That's where they got like the title of the movie.
Gotcha, I get it.
But I thought that was wild, and I turned off the documentary because I was like,
too much.
Get this out of my face. Old news. But it was wild. Like the whole story is wild. It's intense, man. Make you want to put on a hazmat suit.
This
You
is
feel like you're about to get infected.
this is I mentioned this. I was gonna do a story time right quick. I don't know if you got mine.
We don't have time. No, go ahead.
Gotcha. I was about to say gotcha. So the story. So all right. So with the story, right? And I've mentioned this on the podcast before, or at least I don't remember. Maybe I don't know. We'll find out. So years ago, right? I used to live in Maryland. I used to live on this military base, right, called Aberdeen Proving Grounds. It was an army base, and my dad was in the army at the time. Me, my mom, and my sisters, and then we lived in like a little apartment it's kind of like a duplex. They was like duplexes instead of like apartments on this military.
What is a duplex? I don't know.
It's like a house with a stairs up top. Maybe they got stairs.
Oh, like dual.
It's like a house but slim. It's got like everything's more vertical. I guess is the best way I could put it. I'm not an expert on how to explain.
Kind of like a townhouse, but like
yeah, kind of like on that level type shit.
more stretched out vertically.
It felt skinnier to me. I don't know because we had steps. Like no,
So
yeah, it might
a
be more
duplex
vertical.
would just be like it means like it's 2-story, right?
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because it's like hybrid apartment / house, but it was a cool living like experience. But I lived on this base, and we all just lived there. That's where I grew up at. For the well, not my entire life, but I moved to Atlanta when I was like 92, like in the 92, 93, whatever. But I didn't know until I was like a grown adult that my mom.
Last week.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
not like yesterday. And my mom had told me this story about how my grandmother used to like when we first moved to the base. My grandmother used to always complain to her about like, why would you guys live on that base? Why would y'all live there? Don't let Keenan. That's my dad's name. Don't let Keenan take you and your family over there. That place is contaminated. They won't tell you all about it, but it's contaminated. Da, 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 da.
Where did she get all this information though?
Conspiracy theories, I guess. I don't know, but she knew shit.
She
and
knew
then
some backstories.
She maybe heard some stories.
She didn't give her website link
Because
there was no internet back then, right?
No. This is before. This is the early 90s.
Wait, no, there was internet.
Well, not for us, not for the general public.
Yeah, she got her stuff from like the library,
Yep.
the streets,
The streets. The actual. She actually
street library.
the Dewey Decimal System. And then, but she wound up telling my grandma. No, my grandmother wound up telling my mom, "Don't move there. Like the government is lying to you. There's something wrong with that ground. They're not speaking on it." And then I remember we was there for like maybe a couple years, and then by 92, my dad had got orders, but we started noticing a lot of families were leaving. I didn't realize this at the time. I just remember a lot of people were leaving.
But you were on the base though, right?
We was on the base still.
So the people on the base were leaving.
Yeah, like the people, not the entire base. I guess the housing area
Oh,
that we lived in, everybody was leaving. And I didn't know at the time, but I just know like my dad was like, we're going to move to Atlanta. I got orders in the military.
so did you guys have family here before you moved there?
No, nobody.
So what made him decide? Hey, out of all the other states, let's go to Atlanta.
Well, because my dad was in the military, he had an option to move to San Francisco or Atlanta. That's what the military gave him like
Damn,
for
you
orders.
could have been in like Silicon Valley.
My life would have been a completely different.
You would have been like tap 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 tap.
on the street.
Coding.
Because I was thinking about that too. Like my life would have been vastly different if I went to the West Coast instead of staying on the East Coast.
You would have been surfing.
Surf that, bro. Let's shred some.
Hit the barrels
Let's
and
do
shit.
some shreds, whatever. So that my dad was left with the option of either San Francisco or Atlanta, and my mom was like, "I don't want to deal with earthquakes."
Wow.
And we were like little kids, and we were like, "Yeah, we don't want to deal with earthquakes either." We was kids, we didn't know any better.
We'd rather deal with Triple K.
So then,
We'd rather deal with the KKK instead of a natural disaster that rarely happened.
we rather live with around KKK and Circle K, Kroger's and Ingles and Piggly Wiggly, but we didn't know none. We didn't,
Confederate flags, because at that time it was still there.
It's still there. It might have been still on the Georgia flag. It might still been on the Georgia flag. But then we also I think my parents took in consideration too, where my entire family lives in Baltimore though. So it's like if you want to see them, it's an easier drive. Then it'd be cheaper than flying from LA. But from San Francisco. So we want moving to Atlanta. But back when I was a kid, when we was moving, I noticed a lot of people was leaving the same time as us, and I didn't realize what it was. But until years later, my mom told me the story about the reason why a lot of people had to leave at the time, and why we was one of the last families to leave this military housing area was because the government, they had found out that it was a testing ground for weapons at one point back in the 50s. So it was a bunch of empty shells laying around, or they use it as a dumping site for a lot of munitions, which if you let it sit around the area can lead to contamination, get people sick, infect the water, all types of shit. But and the crazy thing is too, the housing area we lived in, right outside of it, we had a camping ground called Skipper's Point. God damn, I can't remember that name. It's a camping ground where you had like a lake. Out there you can go boating, fishing, camping ground, all types of stuff. But there's so many times I've seen people swimming in that water. How many times we've been camping in that woods at night, and then find out years later they had to move everybody off the base because somebody blew the whistle on it and was saying like this is contaminated land. My dad left for a completely different reason, but regardless, we was gonna have to leave anyways. And I think, and since we was all military living there, everybody that was military had to they give them orders like, hey, go to another base, leave here, and go somewhere else. And so the friends I made back then, we all just got scattered, and God knows what happened to them after that. But I say yes, I want to end up here because of that shit, or getting moved off contaminated land. And
so the base was contaminated.
Yes, at least that spot. That base is still open to this day. That base is open. I looked it up before the show because it crossed my mind. I was like, is this base still active? It's still there from what I've seen. And what the hell? It's a dumping ground for it. I don't know. It's like that time where it's like in the 70s where a lot of black folks that was like living in the hood was like getting like lead poisoning and shit just because it's just contaminated shit, and they just let it just stay like that for so long, and that will kill a whole generation if you let it get too bad.
Definitely lower that sperm count and everything.
Kick out third eye or something.
I think fluoride is responsible for that third eye blocking.
But if anybody, so back to the original story about the school in New Jersey. If you guys want to look this up, I implore it. I can lie, it kind of kicked my anxiety up a little bit reading it, because then I started thinking, what is my apartment complex built on? I was like, what if I've been absorbing for 3 years that I've been
mold
here?
Mold is pretty bad too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be inhaling mold like that.
Yeah, especially black mold. God,
you don't want no mushrooms going inside your body, man.
No. You're supposed to just eat.
But then you become the source.
Yeah, you are the mushroom.
But you know what mycelium does to the body? Or to like things that are living that die? It breaks down all that shit. That's the job of mycelium.
Yeah, fertilize it.
Breaks down like waste. Recycles that shit back to the earth. Like clean it. It's like a filter.
So is that why manure works pretty good with
why mushrooms grow off of that? Yeah.
Because human shit is disgusting. It's what we all ingest and whatnot.
Here's my thing. People who don't know a lot about mushrooms, they think like you could just grab a mushroom off of like cow shit and that's a psychedelic mushroom.
I wouldn't even try that.
No, don't do that. That's dangerous.
It's probably a bunch of methane.
Especially like if you don't really know like how to inspect a mushroom correctly, know to look for psychedelic.
I would assume too, because like if a mushroom grew in like in a cow pie, I'd assume there's a lot of methane in it because cows got like 4 stomachs and got like
if you think about like the whole mycelium thing, it's like a filter, like it cleans shit.
Oh, so so it completely breaks it down then.
Because like there's this one story about remember the BP oil spill? Mm-hmm. How they're trying to find ways to clean up the ocean. All they had to do, right? One of the scientists out here, I forgot his name, but all they did was put like mushroom spores to grow on these oil spills, right?
Okay.
It absorbed all that shit, and on top of that, it grew like fresh oyster mushrooms.
Damn, broke
you can actually
down.
eat. Yeah, broke the whole shit out. Like cleaned up all that oil, absorbed it, and then cleaned it, then grew like oyster mushrooms that you can eat.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it cleans up all this
recycling
mess.
tool type of shit.
Yeah, it cleans up all the mess that we fucked up and did.
Damn, mushrooms gonna save the planet.
Yeah, it's
got to.
It can destroy all this shit. When we're gone, it takes over.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Nature will take all this shit over.
Mycelium break all this shit down.
Once we're all gone, the planet will begin to heal. I'll leave that for anyone who just wants to think on that.
Hey, don't say that out loud. There's just grass right over there.
Oh, happening, man.
The grass is going to hear you. They're going to tell everybody. And then
I'm on your side, bro. I'm on your side.
Guess what? Now we're in trouble. Now the plants are going to release some type of pheromone and we're going to be
off on ourselves.
Suiciding ourselves and shit.
Oh, The Happening. The Happening could have been a good movie, too.
I think it is a good movie.
Really? I think they could have did different actors.
I like it.
I like the concept though. The concept was dope.
I like John Leguizamo.
Oh, he cool. Mark Wahlberg, he was just kind of
do
just
it.
too awkward for me. I don't know. He be doing that like, hey guys, what's going on? Like I'm like, get away from me. You don't sound like a scientist, or you look like a teacher. You look like a supermodel. Get away from me.
I like him. He's cool.
But yeah, that's it for that horrifying
All
story.
right, moving on to a soft story.
Let's get it.
Not really a story, but you ever heard of if you ever go cross-eyed, right?
What?
They say don't ever go cross-eyed all the time because if the wind blows while you're cross-eyed, guess what?
Sticks.
That shit's stuck. That's an old folklore.
Yeah, I heard that when I was a kid. Like, stop going cross-eyed. It's gonna get stuck. I'm like,
Let's
see you.
Don't let that wind blow. Don't let that wind blow. Your shit will get stuck. All right, moving on.
That was it. Oh, God, Jesus. I thought it was tied to something else. I was like, okay.
All right, so there's another story about a guy, old guy, right? He kills his girlfriend. Old guy, 60, 70, 80. Maybe he might be 80.
Yeah.
Killed his girlfriend, right? And then he tries to bury her in the backyard.
Fuck, you took my story.
Really?
I had this.
I heard this on Coast to Coast. But he tried to bury her, right? And then he had a heart attack and he died.
Yes, God damn it. This shit,
yeah.
this shit went mainstream on this one. I got it.
Yeah, but that's that story.
No, hop onto that. If anybody who hasn't heard it.
No, that's all we need to know. Like, he tried to bury her and then he had a heart attack. He died.
Yeah.
So now we can talk about, like, karma, like how fast karma works.
Oh, yeah, just swung back around so quick.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, because, like, from my understanding, he was, the neighbor found him in the yard the next morning. He was, like, face down, like planking, just laid out.
With the shovel.
And neighbor's like, what is he doing out there? Like,
Was he trying to... Oh, God, was he trying to bury his...
Because I guess I think he was trying to put, like, a water tank or some shit in the backyard or some kind of...
I really don't know the story. I just heard it on the radio.
It says, Joseph McKinnon told a neighbor in Trenton that... Okay, so his name is Joseph McKinnon, right? This happened in South Carolina. That a neighbor in Trenton, South Carolina... Oh, sorry. That the hole he was creating in his yard was meant for a water feature to enhance his garden. And then, so I guess the next day when they saw him, like... Or sometime later, they saw him, like, laid out on the ground. The cops show up, and they're like... Okay, he's laid out on the ground. There's no physical signs that he's been attacked. Neighbor said that he's got a shovel right here. He's obviously in the backyard. This is a freshly dug hole, or freshly buried hole. And so they're looking around and they see his truck near the hole. And that's when there's like, okay, where's his girlfriend at? 'Cause I think it was like, they weren't even married. They were like girlfriend.
I mean, this guy was like really old, right?
Yeah, he was like 60. He was 60 and she was
so
65.
Here, yeah, so here's what I think what happened. You know, like when you're already doing something crazy, dramatic like that, killing somebody, and then trying to bury the body.
It's a lot of work, man.
That's a lot of adrenaline that's going pumping through your body. Like your heart's pounding the whole time. His heart was probably pounding like 300 beats per minute the whole time he was doing the whole shit. You know, thinking about all these scenarios of if
I gotta
he
get
get
my
caught,
story
whatever.
together.
So his heart was pounding so hard for that amount of time. That shit, his heart said, "Man, fuck you, man."
Oh, for sure. And also, this
was
was
like, "No, I'm done."
It might not have been planned either. This might have been something that just happened, and he's like, "I gotta think fast," and he probably panicked because usually when you crazy and you plot shit, your brain you kind of a little weirdly
So
calm.
what would you do if you killed your girlfriend?
An accident? I'm calling the cops. Fuck it. Call the cops because they're gonna get you for burying the body.
I did it.
Desecrating the body or something. Look, you did a lot already. You may be able to get a lighter sentence if you was like, I got angry, I snapped. I don't know. You may get out in 15 years. Yeah. Something.
I guess you just gotta be in that situation, you know, in that moment.
Yeah, because like they asked the name. Well, the cops found this truck near the freshly buried grave, and then that's when they figured out, oh shit, he had a girlfriend that lived here with him. Where's she at? And then they called her job. Job was like, yeah, we haven't seen her. This is odd. She ain't never she missed like 2 days of work, and that's when they put two and two together. Like, okay, this is what happened. So when they put all the pieces of the puzzle together, they got to a domestic violence altercation. And they got into it, and he hit her over the head in the fight. And when she went unconscious, he choked her and killed her. And
an old man choked her. How old was she though?
65.
She was 65.
And he was 60. Yeah.
Oh, that's
you can still be kind of strong at 60 though. If 60's old, but it ain't 70.
Yeah, but imagine choking someone that's 60.
That's probably just pure rage. Because they
you can probably choke them with like your index and your thumb, like beep, and then she dies.
But because they asked the neighbors too, they were like, "Hey, did they ever were they ever beefing or whatever?" And neighbors like, "No, we didn't." But maybe it might be some underlining shit of where he just snapped out of nowhere and just did it, and because they never show signs. But then again, you don't really know people until you know people. So, so they say that he hit her over the head in a fight, choked her till she passed out and died, and then that's when he went to the backyard for his freshly dug thing, which might have. That's the thing that they're trying to figure out. Was this thing in the backyard really for his garden, or was it for his wife the whole time?
Wasn't his wife already in the hole?
Well, yeah. He put her in the hole, and then that's when he buried her. And then, because like they say, after he killed her, he wrapped her body up in like 2 plastic bags, and then
that's crazy. He
put her in the back of her truck. So he's probably like, "Oh shit, I can't make it to the backyard with her. I got to put her in my pickup truck." So that's why he drove his pickup around.
That dead weight as
well.
Yeah,
because that dead weight is. Fuck,
how do you know?
You might as well just roll it down the hill.
How do you know, Chris? I'm just playing. But speaking of dead weight, right? It reminds me of this one story that I saw on YouTube where this guy, he met his date on Tinder, right? You know, they had a fun time at the bar, and he was like, "Hey, let's head back to the hotel." Right? They went back to the hotel, and then he left the hotel, and she never left. So they're like, "What happened? Why did this guy leave alone? You know, where's the female?"
Yeah.
They started looking at all the cameras. So when he left the hotel, right, he had this suitcase on him, big ass suitcase, right? So like, okay, he left the hotel with the suitcase, but then when they saw him put the suitcase in his trunk, the whole car like dipped like really hard. So they know there's a lot of weight in there.
Yeah, a human weight.
Yeah, that's when the detective's like, bingo. The body, he chopped up that body and he put it up in a suitcase. So what's crazy is that you can meet people online, right? Barely even know them. Go to a hotel, shit hit the wall. You play Dungeons and Dragons and you happen to lose to her.
You snap.
Then you snap. And then just chop the body up, put it in a suitcase, and just roll out like fucking Autobots and shit.
I think I seen that one too. It was like a white chick that
fucking crazy, man.
I saw one similar to that where it was a white lady did it to. There's a lady that did it to her husband that wanted to murder her husband. She went to a hotel and she hired a hitman, and the hitman waited in the hotel with her. Yeah. And so when the husband's like, "Hey, we about to party, like we wait for the kids,
champagne,
but to smash all night," and he walks into the hotel room and the hitman just kills him, like strangles his ass or some shit, kills him, and they chop his body up in the hotel, and you see the hitman leave at one point, and then you see you later coming out with some luggage on wheels, and then she had issues putting it in the backseat of the car. Somebody tried to help it and needed help. That was the body. They chopped up the body in the hotel. They chopped the body up in the hotel.
Damn, they got that fucking cleaver out there. Yeah,
man. They got the man.
The Chinese cleaver.
You can't be too careful out here, folks.
It's scary, man.
It's horrifying.
Like not even like just a dating scene, but like even people trying to buy puppies, man. Like, I heard this one story out here, like, in Atlanta. Like, this guy was just trying to buy a dog, right? A pit bull, right? And then they told him to meet him up at this hotel. Next thing you know, they fucking robbed, stripped his ass, took all his money. And I think they ran a choo-choo train on him.
He lived?
I added that part, choo-choo train. But they did strip him, everything, took all his money, beat the crap out of him, and he never got his dog. There was never no dog.
But he survived?
Yeah, he survived.
That's the good news, man.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
But still, that will fuck you up in the head for life.
Yeah, don't try to get nothing off Craigslist no more. It's too dangerous.
Man, I thought Craigslist was been taken down.
Criminals, they caught up to the internet now.
Dude, they've evolved, man. I noticed that shit with
They know how to use the internet now, so
even dating websites.
Yeah.
You get robbed, you get robbed on a date.
You'll get scammed. You get your account fucking wiped out so fast, man. Like, no, that Russian lady don't really like you like that. That's actually a Mexican man
setting you
with
up
with a VPN that's set up in Russia. Mm-hmm. Come on,
setting your ass up and taking all your life savings.
They learning. That's why it's dangerous out here, man. That's why it's hard to trust people.
It is, especially on the internet. That's you can be anybody you want on the internet.
Even people in real life is hard, man. My mom was like, "Hey," my mom said, "Hey, I cooked some food. You're gonna come over?" It's like, what's the catch? What's the catch, Mom?
Why are you asking me this?
You know, my mom, she tricked me one time, right? Mm-hmm. It's a crazy ass story. Long time ago, she trying to hook me up with one of her coworkers.
What?
Which was a young female, Asian female. I told her, I was like, no.
That's usually a no-go. If your mom ever tries to hook you guys up with somebody.
Yeah. So I told my mom, I was like, no, like, don't waste your time on me. I'm crazy, you know. I'm a bad guy. Don't, like, because you're gonna hear bad stories. So I told her, don't waste your time. Do this on Fat Man or something. But she didn't listen to me, right? So she tricked me, even though I said no. She said, hey, I made some of your favorite food. Come over after you get off. I'm like, cool. you got me at food.
I don't sense any danger here.
Yeah. Man,
why not?
I went over there, right? I saw my mom at the table, and then I saw a female at the table, young female. I was like,
what she look like?
I was like, in my head, I was like, this motherfucker played me, you know?
Was
but
she
I
hot?
never said it to my mom. I was like, nah, my mom fucking tricked me.
Was she hot? Or...
She was okay. She's just not my type.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
Is she weird?
No, she's normal. She's just not my type. But I talked to her because, you know, had to be the gentleman guy.
I can't just walk out this motherfucker.
Yeah, so we talked and stuff, but then I was like, yeah, but I have to go now. And man,
it's getting late.
My mom, she would never do that again. Because I think she feels bad for like the girl that she told her, hey, come all over here and meet my son.
He's gonna love you.
Yeah, it's like, no.
She's from her job too? That was that the one from?
Yeah, that's from her job. Yeah, she's like fresh from like Cambodia. That's like another thing.
Oh,
the English is kind of broken.
Right.
But she's all right. It's just not my. I couldn't even communicate with her. Like,
I'm on a different wave. And
yeah, it's we're on different like planets really. So you can't really do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been doing yourself or her a favor.
Yeah, that's like when people they become parents, don't hook up your kids.
Man, I think my mom have made attempts at times, and I'm like.
But I know like they only mean well. They just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're their kid. You know, they don't want you to be like.
No, because they just want to have grandkids too.
Yeah. Like they just want you to be happy. Like I could just tell my mom, hey, give me a dog or something.
Like, Mom, all right, here's my list.
Smart dog.
If you're gonna get a female, it has to be on this list to match me. No, yeah, I've had my mom hasn't like gone out. My mom hasn't done it on that level ever, but she has. It's like, oh no, she's there's a girl that lives on this property that I work at. You know, she's really cute. Say, man, she's you. Da da da. You know, you should go. Oh, there she is right now. She just got out of the car. Hey, so this is my son. I'm like, eh. Hi. This is years ago. This is a long time ago. But I'm like, hi.
Yeah, they only mean well.
I'm Chris. I don't know what to tell you because
our parents are good people.
I know they trying. They trying.
They're just looking out for their kids.
No, that's all they
I hear you, Mom and Dad.
I respect it though.
Yeah, it's hard to communicate with them.
Would you ever be a parent like this?
Like hooking my kids up?
Yeah.
No. Hell no.
Me either. I can't see myself doing it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to put in the effort to do it.
But still, like, I wouldn't, like, get their brain melted with, like, all this internet stuff. Because I know the effects of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I would tell them, like, hey, like, your shit's going to be melted, man. Like, chill with the whole internet shit.
Man, read a book.
Yeah, because your brain needs to... Man, you don't want to fry your brain with so much information. Because then you miss out on, like, the beauty of life. Because you know everything. You think you know everything. But then you didn't live out. It's like you can't read everything in a book or on the internet. You have to go out there and do it.
You gotta go. That's what I even say about with like with video games. I feel like more people watch other people play video games now than play video games.
Yeah, so
it's like how
they don't know the feeling.
And video games in our era of growing up was like you're gonna rot your brain. And I was like, you're watching people play this shit, and so you're not even experiencing.
Yeah, you don't
something
know
that used to be considered rotting our brain.
You don't even know what it's like to get like a legendary item at level 5 and shit. You don't know that experience, like how it felt. How to get that orange item.
Granted, I'm not shitting on anybody who watches anybody on, watch other people play video games. I'm not dissing anybody on that because I still watch some people, but it's still you gotta experience it. Though. Just play video games sometimes. Experience life. Don't watch it through somebody else's lens.
Jump off a building, you know. Yeah. I'm just playing. Jump off a building.
Do it. Do it. Just kidding. Don't do it.
He told me to do it. I gotta take a leak real quick, and then we come back and we do some other stories.
Let's go.
We're back, and we're back. Let me tell this one story real quick. While I was at work the other day.
All right.
So I went into like one of the trains, right? like on the back end, and it was maybe it was like a Sunday because there wasn't a lot of people. So I went into the train, and there was just me, a female on the other end, and then one male. I looked at the female face. She looked scared. Like when I saw her face, she looked like, "Oh, hurry up, make sure like this guy doesn't do nothing." Because she was looking at the other dude, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, what the hell did this guy do to her? Because it was just dumb too at that time before I got in. So she looked at me like, I'm gonna save her. I'm looking at her. I was like, why is she so scared? And then I look at that dude. I was like, and then the dude was looking at her. So I was like, okay, something happened between them two, where she's terrified now. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be a wild ride.
Oh, some domestic shit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I hope nothing doesn't happen before I get off my stop. But I was paying attention, making sure nothing does go wild and shit. So it looked like it calmed down. Like he didn't say a word, because I was on there. So he stopped talking.
Yeah.
Because, he saw me. I had like my badge, everything, credentials. He's like, oh, he's not going to fuck. He's not going to do nothing.
He works here.
Yeah, because he'd think I'll just call or have radio, whatever. But I don't. But so he stopped, right? So then I was like, damn, she still looks scared. But this is my stop, though. So I was like, man, I have to go.
The innocent bystander effect.
Right.
That's a real thing.
So, like, here's the crazy part of the whole story. When I got off the train, right, the new guy coming on the train, I never saw this ever. This dude was decked out in a whole bunch of bone arrows in his back with a bone arrow in his arm. Like, holding a bone arrow with all these arrows in his back. I was like...
Was it a convention nearby? Or what?
No, there was nothing going on there. I was like, what the fuck is this guy hunting? So when that happened, when I saw this dude come in the train with all these arrows and a bow and arrow in his hand, I was like, she's going to have a heart attack.
Oh, he might save the day. He might save the day. He should.
Or he might save the day.
That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe if he just walked out a portal like, I was just in...
Yeah, so definitely that guy would not do nothing because a guy just rolled up in the train with
a bone arrow
with all these arrows and they're like fucking Lancelot and shit.
Yeah, he's like...
That shit was like some movie shit.
He's like, I was in the land of the Lord of the Rings and...
Yeah.
I'm in 2022. What? What is this snake that people sit inside? It's a train.
So
it's actually a train.
He rolled up in there and it was actually a black guy too.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you didn't know that part, huh?
No,
you thought it was a white guy with a bow and arrow?
I was looking like Legolas from Lord of the Rings with the elf dude.
It was a black dude with the bow and arrow.
Damn.
But then looking back at it, I was like, okay, definitely that guy that's probably fucking with the girls not gonna do nothing now. He gonna get an arrow shot through his forehead.
He's like, damn, you know what?
So like that was a wild ass story. I was like, I have to share this.
That's amazing.
Shock says Martin Lawrence in the Dark Knight.
Oh, Dark Knight, that damn.
Yeah.
I think it's called. What's it called? Black Knight.
Yeah, Black Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Atlanta.
Yeah, but that's that story.
Amazing. That's like some shit you would see in New York, but.
I have a side story. It's not a side story, but like just a random thought I had in my head.
Okay.
Throughout the week, because I was thinking about like every time females have their periods, right? Mm-hmm. They're just bleeding like crazy for days and days, and then you're wondering why they be bleeding like that. And then I started thinking like multiverse style. My brain was working overtime. I was like, what is actually going on? So every time I think like a female has a period, like a whole village gets slaughtered. Like in a multiverse.
And it comes out.
And that blood is just coming out like in this reality.
So it's like a gateway?
Every time she has like a period, like a whole village gets slaughtered. All those kids, family, everybody get killed. If you think about it, it's destroying like all the eggs, right? So all the eggs are dying.
Is that what
happens?
I was like, before we get too deep, I was like, is that how that goes down? Or? I know it cleans out like bacteria and stuff, and
yeah, the red tide. It has to get rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So a village is dying every single time in a multiverse, or a planet or something.
And it gets transported here, and then
yeah, and then it just shows up in this world.
It is a lot, though.
Right? Think about it. You bleed every month because you don't.
How are you still alive? Where's this coming from?
Imagine that village like, if you don't have a baby, we'll slaughter everybody in this village, right? Imagine like every female is tied to like a universe or like a planet, right? To where for them to live, she has to get pregnant. And if she don't get pregnant within that month, everybody on that planet dies. And then we see all the
I see what
blood.
you're saying, that
We see all the blood
it
in
comes
this reality.
out that because she didn't get the okay
So everybody, that's all the blood that got shed.
of innocent lives. Or that's some dark shit.
That's wild, though. Because there's like infinite realities. Everybody, you know. The reason why you have like periods and shit.
It can happen forever. It's infinite.
Damn, all these villages being taken out every single month.
You got 2 days left. What happens? We're gonna wipe you out.
Put you on the chopping block if you don't have a kid.
Interesting. I would have never guessed that.
Speaking of kids, we're gonna skip this Mars story. I have to change all the title. But speaking of kids, right? So a couple in India files a lawsuit demanding that their son give them a grandchild. So the parents put a lawsuit on the son because he wouldn't have a baby with his wife.
Because they want to have grandkids.
Because they want grandkids. So they're suing their kid now. So fed up with waiting to become grandparents, a couple in India are suing their son with the outrageous demand that he and his wife have a child or else pay them back for raising him. The couple claims is that they paid for his wedding 6 years ago with the assurance that he would start a family. He has yet to deliver the promise that he promised his parents 6 years later. His parents are fed up. They're pissed off. They're like, man, we raised you for so long. We gave you all that time when you got married. We paid for your wedding and everything.
We did all this so you can give us a next gen kid, and you.
Yeah, and you've been married for 6 years and you haven't even gave us a grandchild yet. So the parents are fucking pissed. They're like, fuck you. You're a fucking trash ass child, you know?
Like, we didn't put you here to have fun and live your life. We put you here to turn your wife into a baby factory. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Let people just live their life. Why the parents got to be pushy like this?
Right. I mean, they shouldn't go to the extent of suing their kid over that.
No. Well,
but
no.
I could understand why they're upset too.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, live the life, but they're like, hey, like you got married, like didn't you want to start a family? Like,
well, it could be this one thing too, of where. Well, did they say how old the parents were?
I don't know, 100.
The parents could be, but let's say the parents are 100 or whatever, and they're like, hey, like, speed it up because we're going to be around here forever. We want to see these grandkids grow up. And
yeah, that was their arguing facts.
Yeah, and it's like, but this is his life, though. Like, you can't be, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. Like,
it causes stress on people.
But you also, like, I feel bad for the parents, too, because, you know, they wanted their kid to have a kid.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see him. Let's see how he raises his family. You know, we want to see our kid raise his kid so we can see his family. Because we've been doing it our whole lives. Like, they said they sacrificed their whole life for him, you know?
Yeah.
They said they sacrificed their dream just to raise him. And it's like, hey, we did all this stuff for you. We sacrificed so much for you. And we asked for like so little just for a grandchild. You've been married for 6 years. We paid for all this shit.
Where the baby? We had a deal.
What's going on? Is there something wrong with your sperm? Is her eggs are not working? What's going on?
Better give us a good excuse.
Why haven't you guys produced a baby? So
that's horrifying. Actually, that story's disturbing to me.
What's crazy about the story is like it's not like we won't find the real answers if they really got sued for another week or so because it's still new stuff.
Okay.
So, but they want them to pay them like $650,000
because they paid for the wedding and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
Yeah. So the demands they want them to produce a child within the next year, or they have to pay the parents $650,000.
Now we're about to see how really just that court system is out there, because the parents are losing this shit, honestly. But I don't know, because my parents have never pushed me on that level to want to tell me to have a kid, but I could tell they wanted me to have a kid, and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself at times. Of like,
wouldn't they want you to be married first though?
Oh yeah, well, it got to the point I was like, damn, they just want me to have a kid, and I was like, I remember one point I was like, I don't want to have a kid. Like I feel like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. Nothing against what they wanted, because I understand like you want to have a grandkid, I understand that, but I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I was stressing myself out sometimes, thinking on it like, but this is why I want to live. Like, do I got to live for myself or live for them at this point? And it's not like I was getting pressured into this like they did so much, but it's something that I can kind of see little bits and pieces of where like these people just live. I mean, if you, because my even does times too where
here's my thing. Like, they've been married for 6 years, right? They don't have a kid yet. So there's something that's going on. That's wrong. That's something that we don't know. The parents don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but they have their own personal issues that they're going through. Because let's say they are trying to have kids, but it's just something just keeping them away from that shit. Like, something's not right.
Yeah, it could be possible. Yeah,
because it's not even mentioned like in the article. So I'm saying, like, an Indian couple married for 6 years, I would think they were trying to have a kid, but they made so many excuses to the parents, to where the parents, all they thought was their kids was making excuses, but they don't really know what's really happening in their life, like real life.
It could be. There was an article I read, and I can't remember if I brought this up on the show before, but it's just like the birth rates, I think globally, are starting to drop. I know at least in America, it's like the death of the third child, where a lot of people just stop at 2 kids now, or people just having 1 kid, or a lot of couples are starting. I read a really good article last year that talked about couples who they get together, they're married, and they're starting to realize, hey, I'm with you. Let's travel the world together. We can't do this if we got kids. Let's go on adventures ourselves. Let's not have kids and go on adventures in our 60s. Let's do this now. And it could be something like that too, of where some people just like, let's enjoy just each other first before we have kids, and let's go on adventures and build a story.
Anything could be a possibility why they don't want to have a child.
But the parents are obviously.
But I'm thinking the parents don't know the full story of why they don't have a child, because the son and the wife is not telling them what's really going on. Let's say that dude is not fertile. Let's say like she can't produce no eggs,
and nobody really wants to talk about that. Like,
because that's like personal shit. Yeah. So like the parents, they don't really know. So once they go to court like next week, all the they have to drop is like, hey, I'm not fertile. Sorry, mom. My sperm can't swim. They never learned how.
Can't do it. They have no life vest on.
Stu says, who having kids? Kids are dope.
Not I. Also, welcome Stu Jersey. Welcome. Shell Shock says, you can have mine if you want to take over the title. One's like new and low miles.
Less than 5,000 miles.
Stu Jersey says, kids are hilarious. Kids are funny as shit in small doses. Like, I love being the godfather and see my godson and all this other stuff. But then I'm like, do I really want to be a parent for like this in this time frame? Like, I want to be a parent one day, but there's times where like, just enjoy this now. Like, I can be some timey father figure type shit, but I enjoy it. Kids are funny as shit. They say what's on their mind.
Yeah, if you're supposed to have a kid, you're supposed to have a kid by now, a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
everything is planned, like behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. So I feel like everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah.
While like, maybe you should have had a kid, or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe your kid is gonna come out like 5 years from now. I mean, you just never know, because people even in their 50s and 60s, out of nowhere, they end up having kids.
Man, weird stories.
And I'm like, what the hell?
Just whenever.
Imagine going to the parent-teacher conference and then your mom shows up, but she's like showing up in a wheelchair.
Like bad back and shit.
Oh, you brought your great-grandma.
No, this is my mom.
That's actually my mom.
My mom.
It's actually my mom. Get the oxygen tank, is in the back.
Oh, she can't speak.
Barely.
You have to write everything down.
But yeah, like weird stuff like that happen. But maybe it's supposed to happen like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
We have free will, so.
Suture says kids are hilarious. I think kids are sociopaths, so that's why they're funny. They don't care about nobody until they get older. They don't care about nobody until they get a little older. That's why they're funny. Suture says, what's up with y'all? We're good, bro. We are good over here. Just another glorious Tuesday.
All right, we'll finish it off with the Mars story.
Oh my God, let's get it.
All right, so recently, like NASA, they captured a photo by the Curiosity rover that's on Mars right now that took a picture of what looks like a doorway on Mars.
Oh.
And I can't believe I forgot to get the picture. But
Oh
you guys,
my god! I thought that was gonna be the main picture you was gonna have.
yeah, that was supposed to be the number one thing I was supposed to do today, but I forgot. But
all
anybody
good.
can look it up. Just look up the Mars doorway picture.
Mars doorway. Google. Look it up. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's an official picture by NASA. They released this on like May 7th last week. And then Gizmodo, they reported on it. And then if you actually look at the picture, it actually does look like a doorway.
Hell yeah!
That's a fucking path for a doorway. Like it's all carved out. Perfect, man. Like perfect. for
Perfectly
someone just
symmetrical, like
just to go in.
as far as doorways are.
And I can't believe like NASA even released that photo. But then, you know, if you read the article, they're saying like, oh, the experts saying like, you know how like our brain works. Like for example, you look at clouds, you make up images in your head like, oh, that cloud looks like Simba.
So we're making up images of a door that.
So we're just looking at like a cave, or we're looking at like a you know, a cave, a cave on Mars that happens to look like a doorway, and our head is just saying, yeah, that's automatically a doorway.
Because it's what. Okay, I can see the logic behind that because it's something that we recognize as a doorway.
So we automatically assume that's a doorway just because of how our brain works.
Yes, I can see where they're coming from with that on a logical level, but it's a doorway to me. I'm still going with it. I'm jumping out the window on this one.
Here's the thing, like it
This is a
doesn't
doorway.
explain how like it is cut out like a doorway, but then
for
there's
real.
like a little pass, right?
Yeah, I'm
Where-
looking at it right now. Yeah,
Yeah, and then there's like a cut like on the side where it's like a
a-
90 degree angle cut.
it's like a hill type cut.
You know, like on the side of the door wall. Like you see the left side
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, I see.
where
what
it looks like
yeah.
a 90-degree cut, like how you would make like a standard door like in the planet Earth.
It even looks like a little overhang, like a little.
Yeah,
Like if it's
yeah.
raining on Mars, like okay,
Yeah, the little like it's a fucking doorway.
It's just a fucking door.
It's like a standard way how you make a door.
NASA, why are you trying to gaslight us? Stop. This is a damn door.
Yeah, Stu says, did y'all see the UFO hearing? Basically, he said, yeah, we don't know what the fuck it was. I heard about it.
No,
So they did
what
have
was
a
that?
hearing today.
About this?
No, about the UFO. All the stories about the UFO, how they were supposed to tell us everything about the speculation about all the
Oh,
UFO
yeah.
sightings and stuff. Like they had an official hearing. And they never had this for they said like the last 50 years, they never even actually publicly talk about it. So now they had it this morning. And then what I'm hearing is that they really didn't really talk about like a lot of the real stuff because the people that talked about the UFO stuff, they weren't even qualified to even talk about that stuff because I don't even think they even know the story of anything about like, you know, all the official UFO sightings like from the military, the Tic Tac
Yeah.
UFO.
Did they not?
I don't think they understood the assignment. So it was like a I wouldn't say a shit show, but it was like there was no fireworks. There wasn't no real, nobody was dropping bombs. They didn't really know anything, dude.
Probably got hit up with like legal shit saying, "Hey, you can only talk about this, this, and this, and this, and this." Maybe I don't know. Why the hell? What was the dog and pony show for then? If they're not gonna, we back at square one.
Yeah, well, I think they gave them like a deadline to where they have to speak about it, but then they didn't really present it anything that they just said, "Hey, we just don't know what it is, man."
We ain't gonna find out about
Like,
this shit.
my bad, guys. Could we move on?
We ain't gonna
Which is
find
like this is like a serious thing though. Like it's like a make or break. Like if you want your planet to survive type shit.
yeah.
Like you guys better take this shit serious and you guys better warn your people about this because real shit is about to hit the fan. And I think it's already starting. Like with the whole planet being destroyed and stuff. Like how we're destroying our own planet. We did it so much to where they already know like, man, there's no reversing that. But we can still try to save you guys. But you guys did so much fucked up shit to your planet. It's kind of hard to bring the planet to what it was before. Because of all the pollution, all the destruction,
So
all the drilling.
You ran this planet to the ground and
Now our planet looks like a damn slut now.
smells like slut in here.
Earthquake.
Broom.
No, I love our planet, man.
That's beautiful, man. I've traveled the world and seen things with my eyes. Like I've been to countries where I literally saw the definition of the color green, with seeing trees and like green grass. I'm like, this is green. This is what Is that what I've seen in America version of green? This is green. This is the true definition of it.
Real green.
And it's like you gotta squint because this is so
You know what they say about females?
vibrant.
like why females are so hard to understand.
Is it?
Like they say, like trying to understand a female is like trying to see the color 69.
Wait, what?
Doesn't make sense, right?
No.
Because it doesn't. You're trying.
Like, because okay.
Or I wouldn't say 69. It's just any
Just
number.
anything, yeah.
It's like
It doesn't make sense.
you just don't know. I guess.
Wow.
I don't know what planet they're from.
They here though. They here. No, but this is,
We're all connected though, like a branch.
this world is beautiful, man.
You just gotta learn to get
Fucking
along
beautiful.
and shit. There's a lot of people that they go way off their path where they're not even in control of their body no more. They let some other entity from another parallel multiverse take over their body, and now they're doing crazy shit where they're like, I can't believe I did that. Like, you know, after they kill like 10 people, like, I don't even know why I did that. I don't
What happened?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, you gave your whole body up. That's what happened. Yeah, that's why, like, man, I say, like, learn how to meditate. Clear your brain out, because that's the only way.
Clear the cobwebs. It's like, get them cobwebs out the corners.
Yeah,
It's easier said than done, but I mean, you know, just
well, think of your brain like a river, an ocean, like a water, right? If you're looking at too much information online on the internet, you're reading too much shit. That shit is shaking like crazy. So for you to get a clear picture, you have to clear your mind out.
take a step back.
Start meditating. When you're meditating, the goal is not to think of anything, which is so hard.
It's tough because so much information is like drilled into our brains. It's
So the goal would be blank mind. Once you achieve that blank mind,
Clean
you'll
slate.
feel it. You guys will feel it. You'll be like, holy shit, you're actually achieving the blank mind. And then when that happens, right? Like usually I give myself like 30-minute meditation. If I don't hit it, I'm not going to do it. So like I would hit like blank mind within 25 minutes in. And then that's when you don't want it to end. That's the crazy part. Like once you hit that blank mind, you don't want nothing to end it. So you want to stay in that blank mind as long as you can.
just because it's peaceful. It's just
Yeah, not only like it's peaceful, like you can feel it actually fixing like your brain. Cause when I slept like that night, man, I slept so clean, like a clean baby, like came out from, I don't know, like I was born in like a Halo world and shit. Clean, everything fresh.
like I got sprayed down with a hose.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but once you go to that blank mind meditation, that shit is fucking crazy.
It's like
That's like
it's like
pure
instead
bliss.
of washing your body in the shower, it's like you're washing your mind of all the shit that's collected.
Yeah. It's so hard though. It's so easy to speak about it, but it's so
But yeah, difficulty.
fucking hard.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise out there. There's
Yeah, I've been doing for like
so much.
2-3 weeks now. I only achieved it like twice. So now I don't know. It's hard. My brain is. It almost feels like my brain is connected to the internet. Because when I'm like trying to meditate and shit, I'm thinking about other shit,
Yeah. Like, what the-
about ideas and stuff. Like, man, I should have made this way instead.
like shit. What are the Kardashians doing? What the fuck. I can't think.
But yeah,
No, that's real shit. That's why.
Yeah, so meditating, it calms like all the waves down to make you focus on what you're supposed to do.
I be thinking like real freedom is remember that dumbass Mormon guy who went to that island on the boat? It was like an island in India. He was like some like Mormon dude. He might be from like
Oh.
Alabama or something, but he went to the island, and then the first time he went there, the guys who took him out to the island, he's like, I'm gonna give you guys like money to take you to, because it's protected by the India government. Saying like, hey, nobody can go to this island. It's protected by the government. Leave these people be. And because he's some Mormon dude, he's like, man, I think God needs to talk to them. And then so he made these attempts to go on the island.
Yeah, Sentinel Island. I was just gonna say that.
What was it?
Sentinel Island.
Sentinel Island. Yes. Thanks, Sinfiz. Yes. And he tried to get to the island. And then at first they ran his ass off. They didn't kill him, but I think they like put a hole in his boat or something. So he had to swim back to the ship of what originally dropped him off. But then eventually, I think the third time or second time, whatever, when he got to the island, they got his ass. They killed him. They never found his body.
Yeah, I think they speared his ass.
Yeah, the people on the boat that dropped him off, they got held with charges because it's illegal to drop people off at the island. So they had to go to jail or
Yeah.
some shit. But
So he thought like his mind was right. Like he was trying to help people. He just didn't know what he was getting into.
He's like, I need
Like he went to like an island where these people will never even fuck with like outsiders like that. Like these people, like
the most obscure type of like.
Yeah, so he went to a place where a tribe never even seen a watch or anything before.
No vaccines, no nothing. If they whatever vaccine they have is from whatever plant they got it from.
Yeah,
some shit. It's not no
all
man-made government bullshit.
Yeah, just think of them like as a tribe from 2,000 years ago that never really advanced.
Yeah, and I remember too.
That would have been us if it wasn't for the aliens that came down here.
Like,
hey, real shit. Like, let's rewind 200 years. Where were we at?
America?
Just rewinding 200 years. Like, as far as, like, technology. Our technology didn't really advance until, like, after World War II. Like, we still had cool shit back in World War II, but after World War II, man, the explosion of technology.
Oh, that shit was big.
Shit.
It's like cars with wheels.
I think that war was like a war for technology. Like, a war for that special technology.
But they still like a lot of Nazi tech too.
Is it really Nazi tech?
But I ain't gonna give them the credit. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like there was a reason why for this boom.
It's all alien tech. It wasn't Nazi tech. Like their scientists.
Well, they got it from the Nazis,
just
but the
smart
Nazis.
As any other scientists, you know.
Yeah.
But it made like the books made it seem like their scientists are super smart. Like yeah, they fucking got the damn book, man. Come on. The aliens said drop that book off because why? Because the Nazis, right? Well, Hitler. What I heard, they agreed. They agreed with the aliens from the outer race. Like, if we sacrifice a certain amount of people, we're gonna acquire a technology that's gonna change the world and can make everybody bend the knee to them.
But first,
Hitler says, "Say no more. How many Jews you need?
How many you want?
You know, like you guys want to do a project? Go ahead, do it. Give me the technology." And this is the crazy thing, because with the Nazis and stuff, right? You start to wonder why the hell they were going to all these weird countries, right? Looking for artifacts.
Dude, they was going to Egypt.
What were they looking for? Also, they were going to Antarctica.
Egypt.
For what reason? They were going to Antarctica. Super cold. This is where Admiral Byrd came in the picture, where they had to investigate Antarctica.
What was there? Because the Nazis went there.
Because they say, hey, the Nazis going here. Hey, what's going on there? Admiral Byrd went over there, right? They're saying that Admiral Byrd discovered like this landmass. They called it like Agartha, some shit like that, right? So supposedly he discovered like this different landmass. He's saying it's like a whole lot bigger than like North America and stuff, and nobody even knows about it. And it has its own climate and everything. It's not even cold over there. Like it's like tropical weather. And he's saying there's like spacecraft over there that's just flying like zoop, 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 zoop. You know, this is the admiral talking about this stuff way back then. So you would think like
that's why they got guards out there now,
what
man.
the fuck is happening in Antarctica, and why the hell wasn't the Nazis over there in the first place?
That's why they got guards out there, man. Antarctica is like I think it's like a I might be wrong about this, but I'm almost certain it's almost like how the UN or the world's government has like agreed where we can't let anybody just take over this territory. It's something.
That's why, like, they all.
It's like the moon type shit. Like, nobody can just own this shit.
Signed a treaty. Like they said, nobody can do nothing over here. Thin Fist says, if life is a simulation, then maybe we're evolving to create an AI capable of creating another stunning simulation, and this process repeats itself infinitely.
A simulation within a simulation within a simulation.
Yeah,
within a simulation.
It is gonna get to that point where we're creating games and realities where it looks so real where we can't even distinguish if it's real or not. Because remember I showed you that one video on Instagram where somebody created like a CGI image of like a train station.
Oh my god, that was horrifying. Oh my god,
horrifying as in it looks so real.
It looks so real. It's kind of like
we don't even know.
I can't tell the difference, man. When you send that to me, because it was it Unreal 5?
Unreal 5 engine.
Unreal 5 engine. If you guys haven't seen it, please look it up.
Yeah.
When you sent it to me, now I was looking at it. Instantly, I forgot it wasn't real.
I didn't even know
almost
it was real
immediately. Even though you told me, it was like, this is Unreal 5. I saw it and I like heard the footsteps. I'm like, holy shit! It feels like I don't even have like a VR setup. I'm just looking through my phone and looking at it. Yeah, and it's still the real.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the amount of like computing that goes behind that software, how they're able to get every single light perfectly retracted at the same
Everything,
every single little tiny object,
and
making it look like a real ass world. And this wasn't even created by like a gaming studio. It was created just by a 3D artist, and that shit caught my eye, man.
A regular human being. Because I even remember when he was walking and you see like the tracks, but then you see like the rocks that they have on it. I was like, the detail of it, and he's like looking up at the girders.
It looks so. The only reason
then he went up the steps. It was
where
insane.
You can catch like it wasn't real is the frame rate was off.
Okay.
But if you think about it, it still do look good. Frame rate was off because I mean the only reason why is because you're rendering something at that high quality.
That's a lot, man.
Like, come on, like you need a powerhouse computer to do that shit.
Stu Jersey in the chat says, Unreal Engine 5 is crazy. That's available to anyone. Imagine what the big boys got. Yeah, for real. This is like basic. This is like low level. Like, I mean, like it looks amazing to us, but I'm like, I always wonder, like, what is the real shit they have though?
It might be the beginning of the end. If you can like recreate a simulation
and
where
we
it
can't
looks
even
that
tell.
real, yeah, where you cannot tell no more, where you can't even distinguish what's real and what's fake, right? Like, let's say if that shit was in VR. Seeing that in VR, your mind will be blown. You'd be like, this is real life.
Yeah.
But then you come back to this world like, man, this world looks like fucking shit. Why would I want to be in this world?
So dirty and brown everywhere.
Why would I be in here when I have like, I can go in this world created by Chris Jones and shit looks way better. It's like Candyland times 1,000. It's like having 1,000 acid trips at one time.
What if they implement this shit or this type of tech in what's that shit? Metaverse?
Yeah.
That shit with Zuckerberg?
Yeah, like VR stuff, like
where like this
world.
This is the real second world. Like this meta shit's when they showed like the little what do you call it?
I give it about 20 years.
I can see that too.
That's a lot of years though.
But by then we be old enough to where like, we don't want to.
I say like 10 years, man.
I'm gonna watch the generation behind us fall for that shit. The kid, they're gonna talk about the news. Kids are going outside less and less, and fucking, I don't know. That's scary
I just know like when we're old, ain't nobody taking care of us.
Oh no, I think we'll be alright.
Cause the people that were supposed to take care of us was the generation like after us. Like they were the one that's supposed to be picking up on these.
Oh, like Zoomers or before? I think it's gonna be the generation before Zoomers too.
I think the generation that was supposed to take care of us when we're like dying, is the generation that's like 5 years old right now.
Yeah, that'll be the ones. Yeah. Like
but
within
they're
5
like,
to 10 age range. Yeah,
that's
right
like the super iPad generation.
But they smart as fuck though, a little bit. But they easily distracted. That's the problem.
Are they really smart, or are they just auto functioning because of like the computer stuff?
I feel like they're
auto corrected kids.
I feel like they're higher functioning on a level on a higher level than I've seen than when I was a kid. But I do see flaws of like shit, distractions. It seem like would they because like, us as millennials, we're like the last generation of free internet. Like before internet, we outside kids shit. Even my parents complained about you millennials didn't go outside. I'm like, that's all we did at one point was outside, and then the transition of tech and us being outside. I remember that time.
I wouldn't say like they were smarter than us at that time, because still like we were able to still use our normal brain to figure out normal stuff out. You know, like with them, they would have to look up this shit just to do something. We actually did that trial error shit. Like, you know, we actually learned real shit, real time.
I get it.
Dumb, man, you just unplug the internet. Those kids are useless now. They don't even know how to use a can opener.
If a solar
they don't
flare,
even know how to use a microwave. They're like, hey,
that's true.
They don't even know how to tie their shoe. It's like,
if a solar flare hits this planet and it just knocks out all the electricity, it's like,
we're fucked.
How they gonna
like
make it?
Here's what I'm thinking. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
where you know that generation's not gonna take care of us. You know what's gonna take care of us?
AI,
artificial intelligence.
I know it. That's not
sponsored by like Amazon or whatever. Who's Google? A Google bot is gonna be feeding you through a straw and shit.
Sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah. Sinfiz says, dude, retirement homes for us are gonna be lit. Land parties at 85. Let's go. Yeah.
See, it's all ran by AI.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna be taken care of by robots because that young generation is gonna be too busy telling everybody to smash that like button. That's what it's gonna come down to. Stu says we had an encyclopedia, not Google.
Yes, my mom, like at my parents' house, when I walk to the front door, and to the right is like the little living room they have. It's a room. It's a living room that is not supposed to be sat in, or anything. And now we can sit in it, but back in the day, it was like white couches and stuff, a bookshelf full of books and everything. But it's like my mom still has encyclopedias on her. I used to do that shit. I used to use them so much when I was in like school growing up.
Damn. That's the
instead of going to like a library, it's like encyclopedias. Boom.
I had to go to the library.
Every now and again, I would go to Morrow for the library. The one on right down the street from our school. On whatever, down the street from that 4-way stop. I don't know. It's been a while.
Why would you go there if you have an encyclopedia?
So, because sometimes there's things I need like a
you
bigger
already
resource.
had more information than a library.
Well, sometimes encyclopedias don't have everything. It has a lot, but it doesn't have everything for some.
It depends on like the date, all that stuff.
Written
out.
Yeah,
I remember those days, man. Looking up stuff in encyclopedia just to do your project and shit.
Dude. And then you realize like, oh shit, this book is getting old. It's not.
Yeah.
The internet is the evolving thing. So
when I knew like that shit changed was when like we started getting computers in our houses, and then we got a cross of you remember Encarta, the Encarta CD where it has the whole encyclopedia on one CD. Yeah. So I got a hold of that. Being young in elementary, I was like, damn, I know more shit than all my elementary kid students. Because I was like, they don't even have a computer. And reason why we got a computer because we got the hookup from someone that works with IBM. Oh, and we were able to get all these computers.
We know people.
And then just selling it, like slinging that shit. I was like, damn, man. I was like, we're selling drugs. I didn't get no money or nothing, but I saw everything that happened. Like, they were installing all this software on the computer before they sold it. And these were computers that wasn't even on the market yet, which was fucking crazy.
Damn. You get them hot off the presses, man.
Hot. That shit was hot.
Like, oh, shit.
Every single different model and shit.
Fuck, this motherboard's so hot. Shit.
Yeah, it was wild back then, man. Everybody
Damn,
hustling back then.
I feel like computers, did it start on the West Coast? Like, the boom of computers, did it start on the West Coast and then reach
I think
East?
so, because you think, like, because we used to live like in San Jose, which is next to, like, Silicon Valley and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is, like, the fucking, where the whole empire, the whole technology and shit. So we were surrounded by all that when the boom happened.
East Coast was a little slow to get to it then.
Very slow. Because even like when I moved there, I was like, damn, these motherfuckers don't know shit.
What? Dial up? The fuck is this?
Damn, these motherfuckers don't know shit.
Damn, your internet's slow.
Yeah, but it's... But now everybody, the crazy thing is, everybody's on the same page now in the world.
Yeah.
And that's like thanks to like smartphones.
Yeah, it's the connection in real time is real, man.
We can thank like Steve Jobs for that. Even though like they're saying, oh, he's not the one that invented that shit. He made that shit like, he made it cool to where everybody has that shit.
I can't argue against Steve Jobs. I don't really know the story behind all that, but that's the...
All I know is that
we got it though.
He got kicked out of his own company. He went to Tibet. He came back. He was.
I do know that part story. Yeah, Doodle.
Yeah,
went to Tibet and like scraped off that.
Yeah, come on, like imagine like being a millionaire, billionaire, right? And then being destroyed by your own company, and then out of nowhere, you're like, fuck it, I don't know where to find answers. Let me go to Tibet and India and shit. Come back, took over your whole company. Took over the whole fucking world.
Let me come back stronger than ever. But I don't need. I need to step outside the world. I need to.
Yeah, he changed like the whole game, like how they did everything, how everything ran so clean, so smooth. He changed the whole game, having the whole internet in your pocket, like easily, where anybody can use it.
He's like, man, you want to look up boobies on your phone?
Powerful computers.
I got an idea for you guys.
Yeah, when he was like still alive, Apple computers, they were still like the most powerful shit at that time.
Yeah.
Then after Steve Jobs died, PC started picking up again. PC, they start producing all these crazy high graphics cards and stuff. Insane CPUs operating at fucking 64 million processors. Like, what the fuck is going on with PCs now? It's like somebody put steroids in all this
Yeah,
shit.
but I'm saying, this shit's jacked up
So
now.
like all that shit fucking blew up. PCs, like, if you have the money, man, you could make a fucking monster, dude.
You could be a god with a PC.
The price of like a Tesla. Sinfizz says, remember when you could talk to the phone and you wouldn't see ads about things you talked about?
Oh man.
Yeah, those were the good old days where the computers and our cell phones wasn't spying on us, selling all our data to all these companies.
Hell yeah. It was just like, you know what? This is the world, have fun.
Yeah, it even got to the point where you don't even have to talk about it. All you have to do is just think about it, and you'll see an ad.
It's too much, man.
An ad delivered to you so conveniently.
It's too much, man. Like right now, I'm planning on buying like some pillows soon, and I begin like advertisements. I haven't said nothing about it. At least I don't remember. Or
now everybody's getting ads.
Now I'm like pillows. That's all I'm getting right now.
Now I'm gonna get pillows.
Sorry, guys. I know it's not for you guys. I'm just saying.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I said too much. I said too much.
We gotta close out on this episode.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
But we appreciate everybody that's here. Sinfizz, Stu Jersey. We haven't seen you guys in so long.
Hell yeah. Hope you guys are doing good out there.
Good seeing you guys again.
Shell Shock, love you as always.
We're taking next week off, right?
Nintendo, yes, next week is off. Yeah.
Nintendo, yeah. We're taking next week off, so we're gonna be back the week after next week.
Yeah. Whatever day that is.
Yeah. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Stu Jersey. Peace out, everybody. Peace out. Adios.
Love you guys.